This week in psychology, I found an article because dealing with pride, and it struck me that this was kind of an interesting article and pointed out some really big issues for young people who may be coming up who may be a sexual minority. Preteens are using dating apps. So most online dating apps have a minimum age of 18 years old, but no age verification. Don't you sometimes wonder if you're on a dating app, if the person you're talking to might not be old enough?
Not
typically,
me.
I
don't like guys that are young either way. So
yeah, no,
it's like that's not even my cup of tea in the young section. So.
Yeah, no, I have to say I'm the same way. If they don't have a walker, I don't know what. Like it's not going to work. No, but I think it's a real issue because there's no age verification on these things. But so University of California, San Francisco decided to do a study. This was published in BMC Research Notes. They analyzed over 10,000 adolescents, mostly 11 and 12-year-olds, as part of the adolescent brain development study. So this is actually a really, really big study. It's the largest long-term study of brain development and childhood health in the United States. They took data from 2018 to 2020, and then they analyzed it. They found that preteen boys were 3 times more likely to report online dating as compared to girls. So the preteen boys are like the 11 and 12-year-old boys. But lesbian and gay bisexual preteens are 13 times more likely to report engaging in online dating compared to heterosexual peers. So the reasons lesbian, gay, bisexual adolescents may have limited romantic options in school. And doesn't this make sense? When you're 11, 12 years old, well, first of all, I grew up in a world where if you ever were to say anything about that, you would be faced with so much really dark bullying and attacks and rejection. So I can't see this being a reality back then. But that seems, if people are reaching out more when they're younger, that means because they don't feel like they can yet identify themselves in the school setting. And if they have limited romantic options, they might also face discrimination, bullying, and stigma.
It's weird because, I didn't grow up with dating apps as a teenager, so I don't know. That's kind of weird. I wouldn't have wanted to. I was just always with my friends during high school, at least, so I didn't really even pay much attention.
Well, we didn't even know about dating apps. Yeah. That's the thing. Because they didn't exist. So,
when did they actually come up?
So dating apps came. Now, they first came on the internet, and you had services like Match.com, and I don't know. There was a Christian one, and these different things. And then for gays, they have like Adam for Adam, and
so it started on the websites.
On websites, yeah. And then when smartphones came along, now apps are applications. These were programs, these were websites, and the applications basically usually are just a link to a website or that is available for the smartphone. Sometimes it does download, parts of it onto the phone because it's a little computer. But bottom line is it's a little program. And so that little program now is on the phone. So now people can have it from a stationary computer to now a phone that they carry around in their pocket, and they can access it anywhere. So these dating apps also have something kind of interesting on the smartphones. There's these geolocators. So they can allow adolescents to identify other lesbian, gay, bisexual users in a close geographic proximity. So they can look at their dating app on the phone and see if any other kids in their school might be on there too. And that can actually help them become friends. So where it might be difficult to determine a person's sexual orientation in real life, they can do it through the dating app. And didn't you know, because I remember that there were people in school that I knew that I had no idea about their sexual orientation that I found out years later.
Oh, yeah. That always happens, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't know," and then you see it on Facebook, and you're like, "Wow, good for them."
Yeah.
You go, girl.
And now in our world, there's more discrimination faced by young people, and we could go into that, but the bottom line is that discrimination is causing them to go more into the closet and to hide more. So higher rates of screen use are also seen by lesbian, gay, bisexual youth. Lesbian, gay, bisexual youth may reflect they may reflect general trends in screen use. The preteens, lesbian, gay, bisexual preteens spend 4 or more hours per day on a screen than in general. Like 4+ more hours than their straight or heterosexual counterparts. Doesn't that blow you away?
That's weird. I'm like, what's happening?
You were out with your friends, but this kind of made sense to me. When I was a kid, I knew the TV schedule so well, I had it completely memorized for all the channels.
Well, because you guys didn't have reruns, right? Like
we had reruns.
Oh, okay. I thought you just couldn't.
No, I mean, I could tell you what program was on when. I couldn't necessarily tell you the episode and the plot. I wasn't that good. I wasn't, fully in that camp. But what I could do is I was a little bit of a weirdo for knowing I could tell you, but I think we only had maybe, because I grew up in Los Angeles, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 like channels, which is still more than a lot of people had. But this is before we had cable. When cable came along, it just was, everything was out the door. But this was like regular TV when I was a little kid, and I watched TV and I memorized the entire, I could tell you could go Saturday night at 7 p.m. and I could tell you what was on all the channels. Yes, it's sad. That includes television, video, social media, and texting, the 4 or more hours a day. So this made a little sense to me. Why did I do it? Because it was escape.
I was just thinking that too. I was like, damn, that's what it was.
It was escape, and it helped me to sort of get into the world. And if we had time, we could go into some other studies. There was another study out that people feel more friendship with YouTube characters that don't talk back to them and more support than their own friends.
Oh, sad.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird study, so I didn't, we can go into it maybe another time, but what it did point out is there's a little bit of a function here, and sometimes when someone doesn't talk back to us, it's just there and they're very predictable and very safe, that can provide some sort of support. Preteen boys in general, not just gay, it's just in general, when everybody's mixed in, spend 45 more minutes on total screen time than girls. So this is just a group that spends a lot of screen time on things.